Here now is Florida Congressman Ted Yoho, member of the tax-writing House Freedom Caucus. What did you think about that exchange? First of all, is Orrin Hatch generally like that? That's not how I picture him in general.
Not,
I mean,
not
do you think
generally.
is that a rare occurrence, or is that we just don't necessarily, we don't see it, but it happens?
Melissa, I think it's great. I'm glad to see some energy over there, so there's not low energy. It's like somebody put some oxygen in there, and it's refreshing to see. You know, people like to see people with grit, and by God, it's time they stood up.
You know, it does get frustrating for Republicans, I think, and that's a lot of what was expressed, that they only care about rich people, that they don't care about poor people, and that as opposed to that maybe everybody's working towards the common good. You just think that there's completely different ways to get there. In one group, the answer is through government help. In the other group, the answer is not government. It's basically anything but government.
Yeah, and look at the last 8 years, and we're getting criticized because there's a possible $25 billion cut to Medicaid, but the Democrats forget to talk about the $800 billion they cut with Obamacare. And so, that's why it's so imperative that we put in the repeal of the mandate so that, that money goes back in there. But politics gets played on this. I heard Nancy Pelosi on the floor yesterday just going on how all these people are going to, starve to death. They're going to lose money. It was all for the rich people. That's nonsense. Those are outright lies that are not helping us advance a tax policy to grow our economy. This is a good tax bill. Is it a perfect one? Absolutely not. But my question would be, how did the last one work? Was there winners and losers in that?
So what's your response specifically? I mean, when they come out and they say, I have this study and it shows that 80% of the tax cuts go only to the wealthy, how do you respond to that?
That's not true, because everybody's getting a tax break. Every bracket is getting a tax break. Plus, you double
not
the
very
individual.
Wealthy, though.
Well, yeah, but they'll be okay. They'll do fine. Everybody but the very wealthy will get a tax break. But you're getting a doubling of the individual deductions. I mean, there's so many good things in this. But what people aren't really measuring is the effect it's going to have on our economy. You're going to create more jobs here by more businesses going into business, make it easier for them. And by doing that, you're going to create competition in the workforce. And when there's competition in the workforce, wages go up. So this is a win-win for the American people.
I brought up that idea of not the wealthy because one of the problems is we hear on one hand, Republicans say every single person is getting a tax cut. And then on the other hand, we hear Republicans saying, I can't vote for this because the people in my district are going to get a tax increase, and then somebody shouts at them, but they're rich, so they don't need that tax increase. So in some ways, there are two messages coming out from the Republican side, and that can give the other side ground when they're saying, look, you guys don't even agree with each other. How do you respond to that?
Well, if you go through and you read that, most of the people, over 85 to 90%, are going to get an immediate relief. There are going to be some jockeying around in there. The people that are in the high income tax states, they've got a deduction of $10,000, and that's going to affect the majority of the people are going to be better off with that. And there's going to be a few that do fall into that higher tax bracket. But, most of those people are going to be your higher income people, the people that are business owners. And so there's other things like the immediate expensing of business expenses and things like that, the lowering of the corporate tax rate. So overall, this is going to be a good bill, and there's going to be jockeying back and forth. And keep in mind, this is still fluid. It's going to go to the Senate. The Senate's going to put wave their magic wand over it, and then it'll come back. Yeah. We'll go to conference, and after conference, we'll pass this in reconciliation. And I think you're going to see this pass.
All right. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time,
you betcha.
sir.